I do personally believe there will be another wave of high silver stacking demand, but I personally don't expect it to be anytime soon. I don't think the next big economic or finance trend is going to be silver or gold. I think it's going to be... What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and staying safe. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, I wanted to talk about silver and whether or not I believe the next wave of high stacking demand will be coming up anytime in the near future. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos. Also, subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Brand new video over there. Go check it out. The link will be in the description. And if you want to get some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel, I would really appreciate it. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance. It's more than appreciated. But today, I wanted to talk about mostly silver. I'm going to be talking about both silver and gold, but I wanted to primarily focus on silver in today's video and talk about the stacking demand and whether or not I believe that anytime in the near future we're going to see a heightened stacking demand, similar to what we saw in the summer of 2020. So as we all know, stacking precious metals is about long-term wealth preservation. The silver and the gold, they are used as a tool, as a hedge against inflation for years, decades, potentially generations to come. That's what we're all doing here. Now, for those of you who are wondering, the spot price as I'm filming today's video is $24.75. That's as I'm filming, not as I'm editing, posting, or by the time you're watching. Head on down to the comments and let me know the date and the time you're watching the video and what the current spot price is for you as you're viewing. So I believe the stacking demand right now is pretty high. I think that's why a lot of these online precious metal dealing websites can get away with such astronomically high premiums, but I think it's fair to say that the stacking demand is significantly lower today than it was almost a year ago, the summer of 2020, when silver first broke the $20 mark and it started getting headlines, it started making the news, everybody was talking about it. I was already talking about it and I was even more excited about it. People who didn't even like silver were being proven wrong, so all of a sudden they were talking about it. People who didn't know anything about silver were getting introduced to it, and now they were talking about it. Some of the big finance guys, it doesn't even matter if they're involved in precious metals, the real estate, the stocks, the business guys, they were talking about silver because it was economic news, and there was all this hype and excitement around it, and it pretty much became a trend to stack silver for a very short period of time. Of course, you and I are stacking silver for long-term wealth preservation purposes, but there were a lot of people out there last year who were stacking silver for trendy purposes. Just because all the cool kids were doing it. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody wanted to fit in. And everybody wanted to be included. It was just this big, exciting time, and everybody wanted in. And I think it's pretty safe to say that stacking silver for trendy purposes at this point has pretty much fizzled out and faded away, which I would add, thank God. Now, as we inch closer and closer to somewhat of an economic recovery, I personally believe that the stacking demand will continue to be on a decline. Many people, whether it be the big investors or whether it be the small independent business owners, move their cash reserves into precious metals and or liquidate some of their holdings to acquire precious metals during times of great economic uncertainty for a better chance of stability. This is something that we saw last year. This is something that we saw take place. This is something that we all witnessed. This is something that we all lived through, or at least those of us who have been stacking for over a year at this point. We saw it take place. We all saw it firsthand. We saw a lot of these big businesses. We saw a lot of these top dog investors sell off some of their positions so that they can move their cash into silver and into gold. Because of all the economic uncertainty. 2020 was an unbelievably intense year. I don't even need to go into it. Pretty sure we all know by now, 2020 was a wild freaking ride. And during times of economic uncertainty, where people don't know what's going to be going on, people didn't know what the outcome of the election was going to be, they didn't know what was going to be going on economically, they didn't know if all of these shutdowns were going to have detrimental effects, or if we were going to make a relatively quick bounce back. They didn't know which way it was going to go, they didn't know if taxes were going to be going up, they didn't know if this was going to get regulated, or that was going to get regulated, or this was going to get taken down, or that was going to get taken down. There was so much uncertainty, and during times of economic uncertainty, that's when we see a large number of people move their cash into silver and gold just for a better chance of stability. But what happens after economic uncertainty? What happens when the economy begins to recover? What happens when the stock market begins to bounce back? What happens when people are going back to work? What happens when business is booming? The fear subsides, and we begin to see a precious metal sell-off so that the cash can go back into where it originally was, whether it be business, stocks, or real estate. This is something that we see time and time and time again. And I don't believe we're seeing all that much of a precious metal sell-off just yet. I don't think anybody's really parting ways with their precious metals unless they absolutely need to. However, I did post a video a couple of days ago, and I did a quick little summary. I posted it up on my backup channel, the stock market tech sell-off. We're not seeing a silver and gold sell-off at the moment, but we are seeing a tech sell-off. I'm talking about the Amazons, the Teslas, the Apple, the Facebook, the Netflix, the Zoom. I'm talking about all those guys. We're seeing those get sold off right now. And I don't think people are selling off those tech stocks to move the cash into silver or gold. In fact, I personally believe that what we're probably or most likely going to see before the next wave of high silver stacking demand is going to be something completely different. I don't think it's going to be precious metals. I don't think the next big thing, I don't think the next big economic or finance trend is going to be silver or gold. I don't even think it's going to be precious metals. What I think it's going to be are recovery stocks. I think the next couple of months, airlines, cruise lines, entertainment centers, and amusement parks are going to be very, very, very popular to talk about, similar to what we just saw take place with meme stocks. 2020 was pretty much the year of tech stocks. The beginning of 2021, for a couple of weeks or a month or so, the big thing was meme stocks. Everybody made this big joke about GameStop, and somehow it went through the roof, and it turned into this big joke, and it turned into this weird, strange thing that I personally have never seen before. But I think after the meme stocks, when people start to realize, okay, we can't just drive every single joke to the moon and make trillions and trillions of dollars, we're going to probably have to put our dollars into something a little bit more sustainable and a little bit more intelligent. And at that point, I think people are going to be focusing a little bit more on the recovery stocks, especially if, I'm not saying when, I'm saying if we continue to get back on track. At the moment, so far so good. At the moment, it would appear that the future is bright. I could be wrong, and I hope to God I'm not wrong. I want nothing but the best for the economy. I want nothing but the best for the dollar bill. I want nothing but the best for the American people, the average Joes out there, the business owners, the workers, everybody. So I hope we get back on track. I don't want the economy to be in shambles. What kind of person would want the economy to be in shambles? I certainly wouldn't. So if we continue to see a bit of a recovery, and by the way, in no way, shape, or form am I going to sit here and pretend that everything is going to be fine and dandy over the next couple of days or over the next couple of weeks. No, we are far from out of the woods. We have a long way to go. However, regardless of what your opinion is, you cannot deny the facts. Even though things are pretty rough right now, we're slowly but surely making progress. And I believe during times of an economic bounce back, a recovery, when we're making that progress, silver and gold is pretty much the last thing on people's minds. Now, it's not the last thing on my mind. It's probably not the last thing on your mind if you're watching this video. I know I'm going to continue stacking silver and gold. I would assume that probably the overwhelming majority of the people who watch my videos day to day, they're probably going to continue stacking silver and gold, because we're not stacking silver and gold because of what's going on right now. I think many of us are stacking the silver and gold in fear of what's going to happen 5, 10, 20, 50 years down the road. We have the long-term mentality. There are a lot of people out there who aren't nearly as proactive as we are. Most people, in fact, are very reactive. One little teeny tiny thing happens and it turns their entire world upside down. Silver drops by 15 cents and they part ways with their entire stack in fear of going broke, in fear of losing, quote unquote, losing money. They want to cut their losses because a troy ounce of silver went down by 15 cents or something like that. There's a lot of people who do that, and it's not just in the silver and gold stacking world. It goes for the stock market. It goes for everything. As soon as there's a little teeny tiny decline, a lot of people get scared. A lot of people get reactive. A lot of people start making emotional decisions, and the markets are very quick to react to economic news. And during times like these, where news is coming out saying that this is happening or that's happening and it's going to help the economy to get back on track, it's going to help everybody, it's going to fix or mend or aid the problem, that's when people get excited. That's when people dive into the recovery stocks. So I personally believe over the next couple of weeks, we're going to probably see a lot of hype and excitement around the airlines, the cruise lines, the entertainment centers, the amusement parks, etc., etc., etc. And by the way, for the record, full disclosure, I personally do not own a single share of an airline, a cruise line, an entertainment center, or an amusement park. I don't currently have any of those. At the moment, I don't plan on investing in any of those. That's not really my investment style. I'm a little bit more of a contrarian, and I'm also a little bit more dividend focused. But that is my honest expectation. That is my honest assumption. And I believe over the next couple of weeks, there's probably going to be a whole lot of excitement surrounding stocks like that. I believe over the next couple of weeks, for probably the entire summer and into the fall, that's going to be the new wave. And then when we make our way into the winter again, I believe things are going to switch up. Trends come and go. I do personally believe there will be another wave of high silver stacking demand, but I personally don't expect it to be anytime soon. I believe it'll happen. I don't believe it'll happen in the near future. I think silver is probably going to be laying low for a little while. I believe silver is probably going to be off of most people's radars, at the very least until inflation begins to kick in. With all the printing that we saw take place earlier this year and last year, and the printing that's going to continue to be taking place throughout this year and over the next couple of years, I believe with deflation going on right now, nobody doing a whole lot of spending, I think it's inflation versus deflation, because we have plenty of reasons for the dollar bill to be going up. We have plenty of reasons for the dollar bill to be going down. And because of that being pulled in two completely different directions, it's just sitting still. And when the dollar bill is sitting still, at least for the time being, oftentimes that means we're going to see the spot price of silver sitting pretty still for at least the time being. But when inflation begins to kick in, when people begin spending again, when people begin vacationing again, which, by the way, airlines, cruise lines, entertainment centers, and amusement parks, big parts of vacationing. When people begin buying new cars, when people begin buying new clothes, buying new jewelry, I think that's when we're probably going to see the price of everything start going up. And when the price of everything starts going up, that usually means the purchasing power of the dollar bill is really starting to fall. And what happens when we see the purchasing power of the dollar bill begin to fall, when currency gets weaker? We start to see real, true, honest money get stronger. We start to see the silver, we start to see the gold make moves. You see, when it comes to the stock market, when the economy's in pretty good shape, we see a lot of days in the green. We see a lot of up and up and up and up. We see a lot of growth. We see a lot of progress. We see a lot of gains being made. And during those times, we see silver staying low. But when the economy's in bad shape and the stock market falls, that's usually right around the time that silver and gold jump up. It's almost like a mirror image. When one goes down, the other one goes up. And it's not just the stock market. It goes for all the markets, which is why I'm a big believer in paying attention to as many of the markets as you possibly can, even the ones, especially the ones that you're not affiliated with. Just because you don't put your currency into a certain market doesn't mean you shouldn't pay attention to it. I personally do not own real estate. I still pay attention to the real estate market. I pay attention to everything because I believe they're all intertwined. I believe when one starts to move, it could be a little bit of an indicator that the next one is going to start to move. And if you study the trends, if you study the graphs, if you study the charts, if you study the history, when one market moves in an upward or a downward direction, you can get a little bit of a heads up of what direction the other markets may or may not be moving in. So I'm a big believer in that, and I encourage each and every one of you, even if you're all in on silver and gold and nothing else, please pay attention to all of the markets. Educate yourself, inform yourself, pay attention to everything, let go of that tunnel vision, make sure you're keeping an eye on everything, make sure you're keeping your head on a swivel, and I truly, honestly, wholeheartedly believe that it'll help you stay one step ahead of the game, potentially 15 steps ahead of the game. But what do I know? This isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research, form your own opinions, make your own decisions based off of your conclusions, not mine. But I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know, do you think that the next big wave of a high silver and gold stacking demand will be sometime in the near future? Or do you see it kind of the way I see it, and you think that maybe the precious metals are going to be laying low for a little while, at least until inflation kicks in? Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to the next big finance wave and the precious metals. And if anybody's interested in joining the Precious Metals VIP Club, it's where I can do things on my own terms, not on YouTube's terms, my terms. I'm hosting privately held live streams. They're smaller and easier to manage. I'm also doing giveaways, discounts, personalized promo codes, shout-outs, deal alerts when silver and gold is on sale on a variety of different websites. And of course, you can watch all of my videos early and commercial free. Come join the Precious Metals VIP Club. It'll be the first link in the description. You're invited. I'd be happy to have you. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button. If you guys like me, make sure to hit that subscribe button like a Karen hits a bus window. Or you can hit the subscribe button like a Karen hits another Karen. Even if she lies and tells you her name isn't Karen.
My name is not Karen.
Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Bunch of brand new videos over there. One about gold, one about silver, one about the tech stock sell-off, one about the Suez Canal, and one about the credit card crackdown. Go check them out. The link will be in the description. Trying really hard to hit 3,000 subscribers. We just hit 2,000, and I appreciate that. And if you want to help support the channel in the biggest possible way, please consider getting yourself some DYDSS merchandise. Of course, we have some precious metal themed t-shirts and hoodies, which are up for grabs, along with a ton of other products, t-shirts, hoodies, even stickers, many of which are raising funds and awareness for different charity organizations, such as the recently released Kraken Stackin' t-shirt, hoodie, sticker, and coffee mug, inspired by the beautiful 2-ounce silver Kraken coin, which, by the way, is helping us raise a little bit of funds and awareness for ocean cleanup charity organizations at no additional cost to you. It comes out of my pocket, not yours. And, of course, the brand new Karen Free Zone t-shirt, hoodie, sticker, and coffee mug. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance. It's more than appreciated. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know, once again, what are your thoughts on everything that I shared in today's video? When it comes to the stacking demand, not to be confused with the global silver demand and how silver is used in all of these different industries. It has over 10,000 different uses. Silver's a precious metal, but it's also an industrial metal used everywhere. So not to be confused. Do you believe that the stacking demand right now is lower than it was in the summer of 2020? And do you believe the next wave of high silver and gold stacking demand will be sometime in the near future? Or do you think silver and gold are going to lay low for a while, at least until inflation starts to kick in? And what are your thoughts on my theory behind the up-and-coming trend of recovery stocks? Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.